The episode begins with Alma hurrying over to Emilia's house, banging rapidly on the door and demanding to take Sergio back home. She lashes out at Hugo and Julia for keeping her nephew overnight without her permission. Although the couple apologizes, Alma fires them right away before quickly taking her leave with Sergio. Hugo realizes he needs to talk to Louis about the missing kids, so he leaves hurriedly with Julia. As the couple leaves, Alma arrives back home and rings her new doctor Eligio, who also turns out to be her brother. Eligio is continuing with the experimentation on the children in a remote camp area. He reports to her that some of the children are tired and need to rest. However, Alma is having none of it, so she presses him with the experiments no matter what. Elsewhere in Madrid, Carlos returns home to his blind mother, having handed over incriminating data the day before to Julia. He has realized that the police may arrest him anytime soon. Initially, his mother thinks someone broke in, so she starts to panic. But when Carlos talks to her, she is completely taken by surprise. She was in the belief that her son had died many days ago. Carlos hurries her, telling her that they need to leave soon. But she mentions that meeting him once again has been the happiest moment of her life. Now he doesn't have to risk his life for her. Carlos continues to urge her to pack up her things, but she ignores him and instead jumps out of the window. When he finds out, Carlos is understandably upset. Out in the streets, Hugo and Julia try to pass the checkpoint but are stopped by the security forces. Apparently, their passes aren't valid. Hugo insists there must be a mistake in the system, but the guards refuse to let the couple pass. Suddenly, a man in the line starts coughing constantly, due to which there is a commotion on the streets. Hugo and Julia then take this chance to slide inside the vehicle that takes them to the other side of the barrier. However, they are stopped by Alma's bodyguards at her mansion. Thankfully, Daniela arrives at the gate and allows them in, prompting Hugo to straight to Louis' office room. He then spills the truth about Sergio and his past. Hugo and Julia want to reunite Sergio with his biological parents, but Alma is furious, pleading with her husband to ignore them. It is revealed that Sergio's real name is Juan, which catches Alma off guard. She then asks how they discovered this information. Louis eventually persuades Alma that they talk to these biological parents because it's the appropriate thing to do. In the meantime, the couple is handed their resignation letters by Silva. Hugo and Julia refuse to sign on to them, telling their superior that this job is very important to them. Thankfully, Louis informs them that they will continue to work at the estate now that the matter with Alma has been settled. The minister also urges the couple to bring over Sergio's biological parents so that they can have a decent meeting. Silva is understandably perplexed and remarks how the minister has changed ever since Hugo and Julia started working at the house. Upstairs, Sergio and Ivan are both thrilled with the news that Julia is staying on and working for them. Soon after, the little boy's biological parents are invited over and Alma displays the medical records she has on file for their son. She lies to the parents that Hugo had a very rare medical condition ever since he was a child, which is why he requires constant attention. According to her, he needs constant monitoring, and this family is unable to provide the same degree of care. She even shows that the parents had initially agreed to abandon the poor child, but the parents are aware that they would never do that to their child. Alma eventually guilt trips them into signing over their son, and it's a difficult choice, one that essentially boils down to love versus money. Sergio's parents are given a private moment before they can decide what is best for their child. There's a conflict of interest between the parents, as one of them wants to take the child home, while the other thinks it's best their son remains at the minister's place, where he can get far better medical treatment than he would at home. Sergio eventually ends up remaining with Louis and Alma for the time being. The parents heartbreakingly say goodbyes to their child. Louis assures them that they can come over whenever they want and meet Sergio. In the meantime, Emilia and Alex wonder how Carlos obtained the information, but they remain grateful. Marta finds the evidence, the projection that consists of the details of unique children, and remarks that she knows who the kids are. She tells her grandma that she recalls them from the facility, and that they were transported to a bus before a mysterious substance clouded them, eventually making them fall asleep. This revelation motivates Alex and Emilia, who are now determined to look for the missing children. They create a missing person poster consisting the photos of the same children and attach their phone numbers underneath. Soon after, Alex goes around town to start putting the posters up, but is caught by the cops. When he's brought to the station, a policeman notices he's been putting up posters for the missing children. After being thrashed by many guards, the same policeman arrives and demands Alex be untied and brought into his office. When Alex is alone, the policeman Fernando questions him why he has been circulating the posters. Alex, bruised and beaten, tells him that he was just helping to find the missing children. Fernando repeats the question once again, threatening Alex to spit out why he has been putting up the posters. Alex whispers in his ears, telling him that the missing children once considered dead, might be actually alive. Fernando is taken aback when suddenly, Daniela arrives at the office and gives the policeman her card to call her if he needs to interrogate her client. She pretends to be Alex's lawyer and saves him out of the station. Meanwhile, it is shockingly revealed that one of the kids in the poster is Fernando's son, presumed to be dead by the hospital staff for 3 years. Next, Daniela drives Alex back home, where Emilia receives an important call from a mother who has seen the posters and wants to contact her. They realize that they are not alone, and eventually, many parents show up at a secret place where Emilia gathers them. Alex and Daniela join the movement as the entire group gathers to hope that their children are still alive, somewhere out there. While they're all hopeful, it doesn't turn out the same for Sergio's biological parents. While they are preparing to go meet their child with his favorite chocolate and flowers, they are mercilessly shot dead on the streets. In the meantime, Alma arrives at the secret camp where her experiment is going on. She checks on the progress with Eligio. He explains that he increased the dosage, but unfortunately, half of the children could not make it, so they died as a result of the overdose. The one child who seemed to have surpassed the dosage, and even had promising results, seems to be missing though. He tells her that the child never made it to the camp. Alma is immediately taken off guard as she quickly realizes it must be Marta. She rushes back home after realizing what this entails. Cut to the next scene. Manuela, one of the maids, who had grown to be much fond of Hugo and Julia, is seen on a bus to Sector 1. Suddenly, a guy beside her starts coughing and throws up on her dress. The passengers ridicule him as another drunkard, not until he stops breathing. Everybody freaks out when the man unexpectedly dies on the bus. It turns out that he's contaminated with the virus. Soon after, there is a commotion, and security forces show up to quarantine the vehicle. Meanwhile, Manuela manages to sneak away with a friend and hide behind the tree. She seems to be unwell as she heads to her work. It is revealed that she and Ivan, the minister's son, are having an affair, and apparently she is pregnant with his child. Her worry about becoming infected with the virus and becoming sick is understandable, but it turns out that Ivan has no idea Manuela is pregnant. In the meantime, Fernando pays a visit to Emilia's place and threatens to lock her up if she continues putting up those posters of missing kids. His wife was really disoriented when they had lost their baby boy, so with the news of missing kids circulating, she is starting to become displaced once again. Fernando clearly believes that their son died years ago and doesn't want to see his wife torture herself again on the same matter. The policeman then warns Emilia that this will be the last time he will be visiting her. Next time, she wouldn't live to see his face. Scared, Emilia agrees to the policeman as he leaves her place. Once he is gone, Emilia asks Marta if she has seen the boy in a picture. He turns out to be Fernando's son, and the picture was given by his wife to Emilia the other day. Hoping to find her son back, Marta recalls making friends with the same boy in the picture while she was in the facility. She also mentions that he was called Pedro. Suddenly, Bigona appears at the door and informs Emilia that the persons who were at her flat the previous week had been found dead. They are Sergio's biological parents. Another shocking revelation tells us that it was Major Enrique who murdered the couple by shooting them in the street in order to keep them from pursuing Sergio's custody. Bigona then urges Emilia to be cautious of the people she makes friends with. Meanwhile, Emilia is evidently devastated to hear the shocking news. She soon rings Hugo and informs him about the murder. Back at the minister's house, Julia begins to suspect something is wrong with Manuela. Manuela tells her about the bus and the virus, and also her pregnancy is revealed. Julia then calms her down, saying that they will find a way to get her to safety. Soon after, Julia and Hugo learn about the murder incident. They both are equally distressed as they think it was their fault to have instigated the parents to talk to the minister to try to get their child back. Hugo then informs Louis about the incident, who also doesn't take it lightly. Concerned, Louis and Hugo drive down to Sergio's parents' funeral. The least they can do right now is pay their respects. At the police station, Fernando looks at the pictures of the cold murder incident of Sergio's parents. He finds out that the murder has been framed as a robbery, and the couple is clearly innocent. When he voices this concern with Major Enrique, he tells Fernando not to overstep his responsibility, that he should only do what is told. Fernando now grows suspicious of Major and only starts to think if the missing children's case and them being alive out there is really true. Meanwhile, Silva has already worked it out. She finds out about Manuela's pregnancy and reports it to Ivan. Ivan is initially shocked, but he tells Manuela that he loves her and wants the baby with her. The couple then kiss each other, but not long after they realize that Manuela is already showing signs of the virus. She has rashes all over her arms. In a panic, and attempting to protect her, Ivan tells everything to his mother Alma. Alma doesn't take the news positively as she says she'll do what's best for both Ivan and Manuela. Ivan begs his mother not to take any drastic measures. However, she comes downstairs and frantically starts looking for Manuela. By the time she gets to where Manuela is, she's hidden elsewhere, thanks to Julia. Alma then has her guards search the place. Of all people, Silva helps Manuela to escape by lying to Alma and distracting the guards. Ivan then drives his sickly girlfriend away in his green Porsche. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.